Today on the channel, it's a return to the Kyle Peterson Top 5, and today, perfect for the Halloween season, we're counting down my top 5 werewolf figures in my collection.
The spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another edition of the Kyle Peterson Top 5, a Thursday tradition here on the channel, as each and every Thursday we're doing a top 5 and occasionally a top 10 countdown, and when we hit 55,000 subscribers, we'll do another top 10 here on the channel. But today, we're back at a top 5, and this top 5, perfect for the Halloween season. One of my favorite things in the world, yes, the world, Todd McFarlane, it is werewolves, and we're counting down my top 5 werewolves in my collection, and I've loved werewolves since I was a very small boy. Something about that, a human turning into a wolf man, tearing people to shreds, and then getting the curse of the werewolf and the curse spreading on. My first remembrance is obviously Universal Monsters. That's where I came into werewolves, reading the Crestwood Monster book series as a very small kid, and my dad's werewolf collection with his Aurora model kit. That's my first remembrance. But then about 5 years old, there was a channel called Fox. You may have heard of it. They came out with a series called Werewolf, and to this day, I absolutely love that series. As a kid, I was riveted by it, and it was so far ahead of its time, I always felt, back then and now. And about a year, 2 years ago, I did rewatch all those episodes. They are on YouTube. Search them out for free. Skorzeny, the ultimate werewolf with an eye patch, even more dangerous. Absolutely next level werewolf stuff if you're into werewolves, of course. And if you were probably watching this, you probably are. So give Werewolf a watch. Let's get some werewolf action figures. I'd be here for that. But I absolutely loved werewolves from that point on. Love all the different movies, the Howlings, obviously the Universal Monster stuff, even Monster Squad, things like that. Anytime there's a werewolf involved, be it dog soldiers, I can go on forever. I'm here for it. And we're here for it here in this countdown. In this countdown, we're going to do it like all the other countdowns on the channel. We're going to start at number 5, work our way to number 1. Number 1 being my favorite werewolf collectible in my collection. And remember, this is my list, so it's 100% right. Just like your list, if you put it in the comments, is 100% right. So without further ado, let's kick the countdown off at number 5. We begin the werewolf countdown at number 5, and this one, a sentimental favorite, and we've had many versions, and I have many versions of this in my collection, but there's always been something special about this one, and believe it or not, it comes from our friend Todd over there on the couch, maybe represented in this shirt I'm wearing right now. Who is it? Well, it's McFarlane Toys, Ozzy Osbourne, Bark at the Moon edition here. Now, I've had plenty of Ozzies. There was those head knockers, I believe they were called. There was the Bark at the Moon Jack in the Box that he released once upon a time, where Ozzy came out with his inclusion, whatever you want. There was Alice Cooper, many others. There was the big stand-up one. Many a cool werewolves of Ozzy from Bark at the Moon, one of his classic albums from the 80s. But this McFarlane one, always very cool, looks like a statue, actually is an action figure, desperately needs an update. And I would love to see you do more of this stuff, Todd, than the movie Maniacs we're getting currently here. But I always enjoyed this one going back, gosh, 2000s, early 2000s, something like that, when McFarlane was really hitting heavy with a lot of the music stuff. But this one is a favorite. Obviously, I love my heavy metal. I love Ozzy Osbourne. Tough year for Ozzy fans, as we know, but man, he went out on top if he ever did. Check out the new documentary on Ozzy as well. Worth a watch on Paramount. But I absolutely love Bark at the Moon album. I love Bark at the Moon figures. Bring me all the Bark at the Moon figures. And in my werewolf countdown, this one coming in number 5. Down rolls on to number 4. And number 4 one, possibly the most famous werewolf of all time. And we got this one in many different repaints and varieties over the last couple of years from NECA Toys. It is our old friend Larry Talbot. My dad says, you're right, Todd McFarlane. My dad always says that whiny Larry Talbot, and he's not wrong. It's Larry Talbot's Wolfman from the Universal Monsters and, of course, NECA. Something about the color version gets me over the black and white. Black and white is still very good, but a classic werewolf figure. And when I close my eyes and I think of a werewolf, this is the first thing that comes to my head. I remember those Crestwood books like I told you about. Man, I would love a set of those one of these days just for nostalgic sake. But a very, very fun figure. He's got the McFarlane side eye even for Todd over there on the couch. but a fun one, a fun representation. Not the glitz and glam of some other werewolves in the collection and movies and stuff, but really the one that started it all in a lot of ways. There might have been some werewolves before him in movies, we know that, but this is the one that put the werewolf on the map and really made us all fear the full moon, of course. But this one, Larry Talbot's Wolfman NECA Universal Monsters, comes in number 4. We've hit the middle spot of the countdown. You got your list together, put it in the comments down below. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel and my other YouTube channel. And while you're at it, subscribe to my podcast, The Kyle Peterson Show, available every Tuesday where podcasts are found with video cast on YouTube. But now we're at the middle of the road. We're at the number 3 spot. This one, maybe a little bit of recency bias, maybe just because it's been released fairly recently. Maybe that's why it's on this list. I don't know. It's still a fun figure. It's still a good figure. It's a figure I bought 3 of for my collection. We're going to NECA once again. We're going to the Howling Werewolf. And man, oh man, a beast of a creature and a great figure as far as you want a werewolf with your G.I. Joes, you want a werewolf with your Marvel Legends, you want them with some other toy line. This guy could be a pretty good stand-in at a reasonable price to do that. He does got a little bit of coyote ears on it, but it is from the movie The Howling. Now, I'm not even going to say The Howling's probably not even a top 10 werewolf movie for me, but I always love the creature design of that movie. And I secretly prefer Howling 2. You ever seen that one? My sister is a werewolf. You got Sybil Danning in that one, and Christopher Lee. If you've never seen it, you're missing out. It's one of the worst great movies of all time. It's got everything I want in a werewolf movie. Check it out if you've never seen it. But the Howling 1 werewolf figure, pretty special. Once again, just recently coming out. You can probably find this at Target, the Jay's Toys and Games of the world, and other places. Something fun about this one. A striking look with all the different heads. A very, very fun figure. That's why it's coming in number 3. Getting closer and closer to the top spot. We're at number 2. And number 2 is another one from my childhood. I'll never forget seeing the first time ever. This was on like HBO all the time. I want to say it was probably like 1988, 1989, 90 maybe. I was a very little kid. Probably shouldn't have been watching this, but I was a kid that could take the horror. I could take the horror. Some kids, they're scared of their shadows. Not little Kyle. He was ingrained at an early age to be into the horror. You start with the Universal Monsters, you work your way up. Next thing you're watching, Faces of Death at a sleepover or something. But this one definitely stuck with me as a kid, and it goes back to what I said earlier about the transformation scenes of werewolves. Something about being a human and then turning into one werewolf is always something that stuck with me. Just one of the great curses of the werewolf is what that is. You're bleeding, all that kind of great stuff. And no movie shows that in more detail than An American Werewolf in London. Have you seen it? We've unboxed it, and we do got the Kessler Wolf from that. Absolutely breathtaking. I want to say this came out maybe 2 years ago from NECA, but that scene on the floor where he is turning into this wolf is absolutely next level. I still feel it holds up here 30, 40 years. What is time? What is days? Once again, but just an amazing, amazing movie, but also an amazing piece of art right here with the action figure. Different than some of your stereotypical werewolves where they're, walking around like humans. Dare I say a hairy bipedal creature, Todd McFarlane. This guy gets down on all fours like a traditional wolf. But man, oh man, how creepy is this? How scary is this one? A must-have for any werewolf fan. I'm always jealous of Joe Rogan. There's always pictures going around that Joe Rogan has one of these in his studios. Man, oh man, that's a cool deal. I'd love to have that just like right off to the side of me or something. But maybe in another lifetime, we'll see what happens. But the Kessler Wolf comes in at number 2, which means there can only be one. What is my number 1 werewolf figure in my collection? Well, stay tuned. We've hit the number 1 spot, the number 1 werewolf collectible in my collection. You got your list together? Put it in the comments down below. Put them in order. That's the hard part, but that is the fun part. And let's do it. We're at the number 1 spot. Now, last week I did my Creature from the Black Lagoon countdown here, the yin and yang of my fandoms of the Universal Monster and monsters in general. But there was the number 1 on that video, very similar to the number 1 in this video. It goes back to my childhood. It goes back to first ever seeing a werewolf, and something I've probably spent more hours in my lifetime staring at. Yeah, you're right, Flint, Nemesis Enforcer, some of that kind of stuff, Top of Farland, but right up there. I've stared at this so many years of my life. It is in my collection now. It was originally my dad's. My dad built this when he was a little kid with my grandpa, so it's special, it's nostalgic, but it's what I think of when I close my eyes, like I do many a night. My wife, Angie, shakes me. Honey, what are you thinking about? You're mumbling in your sleep. I'm just thinking about that Aurora Monster model kit, Larry Talbot, Wolfman, maybe not Larry Talbot, but Wolfman at the end of the day. Looking beautiful. And as I always said with that creature one, it's funny, I see this painted differently with like green jeans on instead of blue. It always feels weird to me because so many years, this is all I knew, this is all I saw. And then I started going to toy shows later on in life. I'd see these painted totally differently with, different werewolf fur color and things. Just always messes with my head still to this day. But I absolutely love this one. Very nostalgic for me. Very fun to have it in my collection. I still look at it every single day, at least once a day when I go up the stairs to bed. I take a look and I blow a little kiss to the Wolfman, the creature, some of the other Aurora Monster kits. But a fun one, not going to be on everybody's list. That's why it's my list, but it is a beautiful piece in my collection and my favorite werewolf collectible in my collection. So there it is, my werewolf top 5. Put yours in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, subscribe to the podcast, check out Patreon, check out YouTube channel memberships for more content. SirPaul64 on the X, _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, Instagram, TikTok, and TheKylePetersonShow at gmail.com. So for a werewolf countdown, happy Halloween, everybody.
Well, are we gonna dance or are we gonna play?
See you later!